Before we get into the video, check the description and join our daily giveaways. Heavenly XLM could hit $0.079 in 2022. Stellar's cost expectation for the most negative situation will esteem XLM at $0.1 in 2022. Stellar's past all-time high was on 3 January 2018, where XLM was valued at 87 cents. Stellar's cost simultaneously last week was $0. It has moved by 14,207% in the previous week and is as of now at 13 cents. In fact, in the beyond 24 hours, XLM has siphoned by 8,967%. There is a slight negative feeling in the crypto market. The drawn-out feeling, in any case, stays bullish, and XLM could hit 52 cents in 2023. The complete circling supply of Stellar as of compassing this video was $25,222,963,576.54, and the market cap of XLM stays at $3,403,093,058. Significant disclaimer. For coins with practically no useful pieces of information and inexistent verifiable information, the model naturally will show a positive cost expectation. It is absolutely impossible for our AI bot to unravel white paper, tokenomics and group honesty. The coin's value that you are going to see underneath can fall radically contingent upon many elements, so kindly contribute admirably subsequent to really taking a look at the group and undertaking's white paper. This ongoing value forecast is finished by a machine doing the math, and the model is still in the early beta stages. It should stringently not be taken as a venture guidance. Albeit the best specialists are as of now tweaking and refreshing the calculation, no human has confirmed the cost anticipated underneath, so if it's not too much trouble, utilize your watchfulness and settle on a choice shrewdly. Our stellar cost expectation model considers a ton of data of interest and factors to give the surmised worth of XLM before very long to come. No calculation, be that as it may, can be 100% exact, however we endeavor to present to you the most dependable cost forecast by utilizing a high-level AI/ML information crunching model. The information focuses remember Stellar's for chain development of coins for August 2022 and past verifiable information. Heavenly's absolute exchanging volume on trades for August 2022 and past verifiable information. Heavenly's social feeling for August 2022 and past verifiable information. Heavenly's impending guide and developer action for August 2022 and past verifiable information. Heavenly's enormous whale developments and their hodling designs for August 2022 and past verifiable information. Heavenly's cost developments in view of different exchange. Heavenly cost expectation 17 August 2022. Stellar's cost for 17 August 2022 as indicated by our examination ought to run between $0.084 to $0.097, and the typical cost of XLM ought to be around $0.091. Heavenly cost expectation 22 August 2022. Stellar's cost for 22 August 2022 as per our investigation ought to go between $0.071 to $0.082, and the typical cost of XLM ought to be around $0.077. Heavenly cost expectation 1 September 2022. Stellar's cost for 1 September 2022 as indicated by our examination ought to run between $0.047 to $0.054, and the typical cost of XLM ought to be around 5 cents. Heavenly cost expectation October 2022. Stellar's cost for October 2022 as indicated by our examination ought to run between $0.047 to $0.054, and the typical cost of XLM ought to be around 5 cents. Heavenly cost expectation November 2022. Stellar's cost for November 2022 as per our investigation ought to go between $0.054 to $0.062, and the typical cost of XLM ought to be around $0.058. Heavenly cost expectation December 2022. Stellar's cost for December 2022 as indicated by our investigation ought to run between $0.061 to $0.071 and the typical cost of XLM ought to be around $0.066. Heavenly's long-term price prediction. Heavenly's drawn-out price prediction underneath is a glance at XLM's future possibility concerning cost. Heavenly was most recently seen at 13 cents, with a market cap of $3.403093058 and exchanging volumes of $265.989052. XLM's value forecast is conceivable by investigating verifiable cost activity, current turns of events and social opinion from the local area. Heavenly cost expectation 2022. Stellar's cost for 2022 as per our investigation ought to run between $0.053 to $0.079 and the typical cost of XLM ought to be around $0.066. Heavenly cost expectation 2023. Stellar's cost for 2023 as per our examination ought to go between 35 cents to 52 cents and the typical cost of XLM ought to be around 43 cents. Heavenly cost expectation 2024. Stellar's cost for 2024 as per our examination ought to run between 45 cents to 67 cents and the typical cost of XLM ought to be around 56 cents. Heavenly cost expectation 2025. Stellar's cost for 2025 as indicated by our examination ought to go between 57 cents to 86 cents and the typical cost of XLM ought to be around 72 cents. Heavenly cost expectation 2026. Stellar's cost for 2026 as per our investigation ought to go between 73 cents to $1,106 and the typical cost of XLM ought to be around 92 cents. Heavenly cost expectation 2027. Stellar's cost for 2027 as indicated by our examination ought to run between 94 cents to $1,416 and the typical cost of XLM ought to be around $1.18. Heavenly cost expectation 2028. Stellar's cost for 2028 as per our examination ought to run between $1,209 to $1,813 and the typical cost of XLM ought to be around $1,511. Heavenly cost expectation 2029. Stellar's cost for 2029 as per our examination ought to go between $1,547 to $2,321 and the typical cost of XLM ought to be around $1,934.